Go green, and we are live. Hello everyone, good afternoon, welcome to Thursday. Let's just give it 30 seconds, let the last people just get into the room. A few more people still arriving. By the sounds of it, my neighbours are actually trying to get into the room as well, but physically, so if you hear any loud banging, that's not us, apologies. Good afternoon, Cameron, good to see you. Colin, good to see you again, thank you. Fabienne, Howard, Martin, Matt, Petra, Stuart, Tim, thank you everyone for being here. Let's just give it 30 seconds. Give it a moment. Oh, excuse me. Mobile phones. My one hiding across the other side of the desk. Wow. Right, let's get everyone set up for success. Let's make sure that we have got that little aeroplane lit, zero out the distraction, 100% attention on exactly what we're doing here today. Making sure you've got a drink. Let's make sure we stay hydrated, get the brain lubricated, and let's make sure we keep this learning sticky. Dry brain equals dry session. And then finally, fresh sheet, fresh thinking. So we want to make sure we've got a clean notepad in front of us. At the top of that page, you're going to write keepers. And these are the things that you want to remember, that you want to reread, that you want to use to reignite that thinking to help keep these ideas expanding and flowing into the work that you're doing. I think we're here. I think we're all good. Good afternoon, Victoria. Good to see you. Ivy, thanks for being here again. Let's do this. Welcome to today's Sticky Learning Lunch with me, Nathan Simmons, Senior Leadership Coach and Trainer for MBM, Making Business Matter, the home of Sticky Learning. We are the leadership development and soft skills provider to the grocery and manufacturing industry. And the idea of these micro learnings is to help you be the best version of you in the work that you do, whether that's while you're at home or whether it is helping you to return back to the office. Let's dive into today's session. Good afternoon, Vaughn. Good to see you again. And Lana, thanks for being here, really appreciate it. So we've already covered evaluation. We've already covered a bit of the vision. So we've taken time to look at ourselves. We're looking at 360 feedback, whether we do this once a year, but actually ideally as this idea came to me as we were doing the session 2 days ago, breaking it up into bite-sized chunks. So maybe you're asking smaller numbers of questions about a very specific part of your leadership, coaching, communication, feedback, whatever it might be, and getting some input on that on a regular basis, maybe once a quarter. Then taking the time to build the vision. Where do you want to get to? I use the analogy a lot. It's the same as sat-nav. Where am I now? Where do I want to get to? Where am I now? Where am I going to? And making sure I've got the right information that's going to help me get where I need to be. And this pen is now departing. Let's see. That'll do. And today we're going to be looking at obstacles. We're going to be looking at those things that hold us back. And before I do that, I'm just going to drop in the link for the future sessions and rightfully reminded, come off the full screen. So in the chat box, you can see the link there. It's got the previous sessions. If you haven't seen them, they're on there already. You can click onto them and rewatch them. And also, if you haven't signed up for Monday's session, where we're going to be looking at the last part of this framework, which is around how to create the actions, now's the time to do that. You've got the link there. Click through, sign up, get yourself registered so you're live in the room. And also, if you know people that are going to get value from this, share it with them. Really important that we get some of this information into more leaders so that more leaders are thinking this way and approaching life differently. Rather than thinking they're already perfect, rather than having no idea where they're going and actually just end up complaining about the problems as they come downstream because they haven't prepared for them, because they didn't expect them. When actually most of the time, 99% of the problems that come downstream, we know they're going to happen if we ask the right questions. And not enough people are doing this. This is why we have challenges in leadership. This is why we have challenges in certain teams, because we're not self-evaluating. we don't have our own vision and we're too reliant on someone else telling us what to do. And actually, the obstacles are the things that we need to embrace and see before they come downstream, so that we can line up the challenges in front of us in a chronological, strategic order and overcome them, gradually improving our skill sets as we step over each one of them. Hope this is making sense. So where are we going first? Number one. It's all about how we frame it. So it's the labels that we apply to this. And I talked about this a bit before in regards to ourselves when we're doing personal development and when we're doing goal setting. And also when we're doing negotiation, it's different ways that we focus our brain. When we're looking at feedback, which we're going to look at in a couple of weeks, and you're looking at personal development, it's what you think of someone is how you treat them. So what you think up here, the content of your head dictates the content of your mouth. And when you're doing your own personal development, the phrase I use is what you think of yourself is what you will achieve. And you may remember me hearing this, or if you've worked one-to-one with it, you will have heard me say this. So the moment we start thinking that we're not capable or no, it's beyond us, we'll find reasons and excuses to make sure it is beyond us. And it stays that way. When we have a situation, actually, it's the way that we think about the thing that turns it into actually what we believe it is. So what we think of a situation is what it becomes. So especially when we're working in feedback, or we're looking at these challenges coming downstream, the moment you think it's going to be a problem, it becomes a problem. Everyone with me? Does this make sense? Give me some yeses or nos. Show me you're alive. Yes, I've got some yeses. Good. So let me say this again. What you think of a situation is what it becomes. Let me hit you with a couple of key quotes that ring true on this. One, Marcus Aurelius, things are neither good or bad, it's the thinking that makes them so. I have no idea how many thousands of years he said that. It was right then and it's right now. When we see these obstacles, we'll use a little bit of drunk logic. The problem isn't the problem. It's your attitude to the problem that is the problem. Captain Jack Sparrow on Rum. And even he was getting it right. The challenge is, though, when we frame it and we hang these labels on things and we see them as issues or we see them as problems, that's what we turn them into. So when we're delivering feedback, or even to a leader or someone in our team, and we say this is going to be a difficult conversation, what are we saying that the conversation is going to be? What are we actually saying about the person that we're actually going to talk to? How are we actually labeling that individual before we even get to them? So are we making it more or less difficult for ourselves before we even go into it? I've got my notes here, I'm just going to make sure. Because the moment you judge someone, you cannot influence them. Remember this when we do feedback, I will repeat this again. At the same time, the moment we judge a situation, we deem ourselves as incapable of influencing it or changing it. So we have to address how we're looking at it. Now, common error or belief, fake news, that crisis in Chinese means two things. Someone said the word crisis means danger or opportunity. But I did some research on this. This is a misnomer. What it actually means is a tipping point. We've got a moment in there where we can change and go in different directions. Something could happen, but we've got an opportunity to look at what else is going to happen. Questions coming here, but how can you control your feelings? Example, somebody I do not like, for example. You have the option the choice to respond or react. Whether you like them or not, whether they've done something to upset you or not, you still have a choice of how you wish to respond to them. Guaranteed though, what you think of someone is how you treat them. So if I'm thinking, they're an idiot, or, I don't want them around them, my words will change shape, and the conversation and the outcome of that conversation will also change as well. So when we go back into this, it's okay, well, what's this person asking for? How can I help this person right now? How can I change my responsibility? Oh, sorry, my ability to respond, which is my response ability. So it's important we take ourselves back. And you know what? I may not cover that in the feedback training, Mohammed, but I'm looking at on my wall over here, and there is a model there that is phenomenally powerful to use inside feedback, and it's also phenomenally powerful to use as a safeguarding tool when we're having mental health conversations with our teams as well. Is there some training for this, a change in the mental view? Yes, I think we're going to bring that to life as well. I was debating whether to do this or not, Mohammed. I think I will. So after the feedback stuff, I'm going to drop in some deep psychological stuff that helps you to reframe how you're having conversations. So the first thing is we need to reframe what we're looking at. Celebrate the stuff as it's coming downstream. Because if you're not, celebrating, if you're not looking for it coming downstream and it surprises you, how do you actually feel? Let me ask a different question. Who here, yes or no, likes surprises? So here we go. So got yes. Keeps it, yeah. Depends, exactly. Yes, but the good ones. Always like a free beer. So this is the challenge. Everyone says, yes, I love surprises. And then they always say, but it depends what it is. So it's not really a surprise, is it? Human nature, if you remember, we were talking about the values previously, we have a need for certainty and a need for uncertainty. And the quality of your life, as Tony Robbins says, the quality of your life is dependent on the level of, on how much uncertainty you can comfortably manage in your life. So surprises, especially the ones that we don't want or that are going to cause us more problems, they're not very welcome. So we have to start asking questions, or if these things turn up and surprise us, how am I dealing with them? How is that affecting the way that my team is working? What am I doing to mitigate these challenges that are coming downstream? Because if we got it framed as a problem, or it's difficult, or I didn't expect it, or this is damaging, whatever that might be, the way that I structure this is you cannot activate solutional thinking while you're complaining. Okay? And yes, that is a made-up word. Solutional does not exist. It's one of mine. And then feel free to use it. You cannot activate solutional thinking while you're complaining, because your brain cannot do two things at the same time. The moment you frame it as a problem, you go into complaining and you cannot move out of it. And I'm not sure who said this. I believe it was Wayne Dyer. I think, complaining is the glue that keeps you stuck to your circumstance. So we have to shift our perspective of it and look at it from a different angle. One of the lines I often use to help me do this, the problem is the solution. You may have heard me say this before. Bill Mollison, unfortunately passed away now. Very, very smart man looking at ecological design systems. Uses this phrase, the problem is the solution. Because you may have heard me say, and I'm going to repeat this again, everything in you, about you, and around you is a solution to a problem. And you can test that by all means right now. Everything in you, about you, and around you is a solution to a problem. So when that challenge comes down the line, and maybe you did expect it or you didn't expect it, and you're deeming it as a problem, actually, what is this solving for someone else? What solution is wrapped up inside this? Because I haven't, because the outside wrapping is too painful to get into, I have to take that paper off to find out what the gold is inside of that, to understand actually where the value is in that. Number two, for dealing with challenges and obstacles is acknowledging them. The first thing most people do is they ignore them. Big things in life, whether it's they're happy in their work, whether they've got a problem conversation to have, no, there's a big bill that they need to pay, whatever it is. The first thing that most people want to do is ignore them. And that's a big challenge because it's not going anywhere. The second thing that a lot of people do is they accept them. There's very few things in this life, in this world, that need to be accepted. And most of those are universal laws which cannot be, refuted. But even the law of gravity is still questionable these days. So we have to understand, we have to acknowledge those things. Nothing in nature is certain. There is no such thing as a safe bet. They don't exist anymore. I've talked about this before. Again, I'm going to drop this in here. The only investment that is guaranteed is the one that you make in yourself and your own personal development. What we have to shift our perspective of, or perception of, is acknowledging those things. They're going to happen. And we need them to happen. What's the cliche? Fair seas never made fine sailors. We need challenge in our life. We need friction. We need tension. We do not go to the gym of life to lift lighter weights. We go to the character gym. And we go there, and every time we go to the gym to push weights, we want to push bigger weights to build bigger muscles so we can deal with the next challenge that's coming downstream, rather than staying at the level of understanding we've got now. Because the moment we can see those challenges, what we can then do is just, like I say, line them up in a chronological order so we actually deal with them so they become sequentially more difficult. I use the analogy of it'd be like buying a computer game. And if the first level of the computer game was so hard that no one could ever complete it, and then the rest of the levels got easier, how many copies of that game do you think would get sold? Question for all you know, if the first level was ridiculously difficult and you could not complete it, and then it got easier, how many copies of that game do you think would be sold? Some good stuff coming in here. Is there a good practice to call problems challenges? Does the change? Yep. That's driver 1 on PS2, on PS1. Not after the initial rush. Absolutely. We wouldn't do it. We wouldn't go into that, except when we get the Lego Star Wars on what it used to be Nintendo DS or whatever it is, and we'll be sitting there playing it, and you get part way through it, and then there's this one bit that's really challenging, and you've got so far into it that you just don't want to put the game down because you want to keep going and keep going until your thinking goes up again. You're, now I've got it. Then you go on to the next level, and then the next level uses all the thinking that you've got from the previous levels to help you get over that. Except we do not apply the same logic to our own lives and the way that we work. We spend more time plugged into things like Nintendo DS's, stuck trying to get Luke Skywalker to jump over a platform, than actually dealing with the problems that are coming downstream in our own lives and our own projects. So we have to acknowledge they're going to be there and look for it in order to mitigate it. How do we do this? I haven't come up with any better names for this model, but we're going to go with this. You may not be able to see it because it's red on there. AAA thinking. The first A is to acknowledge. I have a problem. That's okay. Acknowledge that there's a behavior or a habit or a situation occurring. Acknowledge it. The moment you acknowledge it, you can do something about it. The moment you accept it, you're actually saying there isn't anything else to do and I'm just accepting that's the way it is. And this is dangerous when we get into the realms of feedback, because then those things that are left and accepted get repeated and become habit. And then once it becomes a habit, the standard becomes lower. So we just acknowledge what it is we're seeing. We can start to ask some questions. Okay, well, this is where I'm going with this project. This is what I'm doing in this situation. This is where I'm going with this team. where do I want to get to? So I'm just going to share my screen with you so you can see some of the questions that are going to come up in this space. So there's a couple of questions there that I've pulled out of the, bear with me, I'm just going to drop off that for 2 seconds because there is another link that I can share with you. He says that will give you some more of these questions. The free online sample of the leadership coaching deck. Says that, bam, bear with. The idea with these questions is you can then spend time just ask yourself some of these questions. Come on, play the game. There we go, we're back in. So we use some of these questions to start to understand, okay, well, where are these challenges? Acknowledge there's going to be challenges, and then ask questions. So we use the questions from the coaching deck. So you've got some of them there in front of you right now. You've got the link there for the free online tool. And I've just dropped the link in there so you can pick up a packet of those coaching cards as well. They're still only £5, which in itself is still mind-blowing. If you haven't got a deck, now is the time to get a deck. We have a series of questions in here that are going to help us ask better questions, so we can actually find more of those, so-called problems. So we can find some more of these obstacles, these challenges that we need to work through, because we need them in our lives in order to create the necessary tension so that we can grow the right muscles of character, personality, behavior, whatever, to overcome that and move forward. Great book, actually, on my bookshelf right now, which is well worth picking up. It's called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. It's a modern day view of Stoicism, astronomical. The other thing I also recommend is start doing Wing Chun, Kung Fu, because this also teaches you how to overcome plenty of obstacles very, very quickly, most of the time while not being punched in the face. Kind of useful. So yeah, pick up a copy of The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. So we've acknowledged, we've asked questions, and we're looking for the obstacles, we're looking for the challenges, we're looking for the problems so that we can go, okay, how does this problem help someone else? Because it may well do that. And then our last A is to take action. So when we can see those things in varying different formats, so it might be that you're going in a straight line. If I do this, it may cause 3 outcomes. Okay, I've got 3 challenges here. What would I do in each 3 of those? Okay, great. If I go left, I've got another 3 options. If I go middle, I've got another 3 options. And we start to get really strategic with our thinking, and we start to think 3, 4, 5 moves out, and it becomes like a game of chess, because leadership is like a game of chess. Project management is very much, as Stuart was talking about in response to my post, it's about mitigating those risks. It's about seeing them, anticipating them, and applying the solutions that you know work, and understanding that things still may not work even if you do that. You have a plan, and at the same time also have the flexibility to throw the plan out the window if you need to, because you know something better needs to be acted on right now. Hope that's useful. We are pretty much, it's 24 minutes past. Couple of questions already here. What's been useful from today's session? Just while I'm seeing if there's any more questions here I can answer right now. What has been useful from today's session? Is this a good practice to call problems challenges? Does this change how we act? Yeah, because the human brain loves a challenge. As long as that challenge is pitched at the right level. If you're working in an environment and the things you're working on are below your skill set, they become boring. If they're too far over your skill set, they become overwhelming, and you start to struggle. One of the things I often say to people is, the deep end is the best end. There's more of it and there's less people. So we start to embrace the challenges of the physicality, the conversation. Maybe someone says that person's really difficult. Oh, I don't want to give them feedback. Okay, cool. I'll go and do it. Why? Because I understand that I have a certain skill set and I can flex some of those muscles and see how it works. I also suggest to people, from the martial arts background, is fight black belts. Doesn't matter what grade you are, go and fight the black belts. Why? Because they will teach you more about yourself and your abilities in 5 seconds than you'll learn from fighting a white belt at the same level of you in 5 months. So the human brain loves a challenge. How important to break down the problem into smaller chunks and solve it? Absolutely. If you need to do this to make it achievable, is break down those things into objectives and elements of it. So when, for example, we're looking at feedback, we structure the conversation in a way so we can prepare each part of that conversation. We break it down into 4 parts, 3 or 4 parts, depending on which framework we're using, so that you can just get your head around each part of it, rather than it being one massive conversation with a potentially difficult person. We break it down. There is some approach called 5 whys to solve problems. Can you elaborate? 5 whys? Yes. Don't use it. with intelligence, we use this model. Why do I say that? When we look at open questions, and I've talked about this before, the moment you ask someone a question beginning with why, especially if you don't know them very well, they will become defensive and they will start to justify their actions and become very emotive, and they'll become defensive, and you won't get what you need. And all you hear is a lot of excuses. When we use the 5 whys or 7 whys, depending which preference you've got, when we're doing it to people, what I do is I use, so what was the reason for that? What's important about that? So I frame my why questions, I begin with them with what, and I look for what was the thinking behind that. What was important about that outcome to you? So rather than going why, and guessing excuses, I want to get objective and get information. When we use the 5 whys or the 7 whys, we then do this, but we do it on processes. So when you're looking at lean methodology or 6 Sigma, continuous improvement, then we use the whys, because a process does not have any emotions. Hope that's useful. Like AAA thinking, good. Cannot solutionize while complaining, love that, good. AAA framing and having more control of my thinking make things positive journey, absolutely. Another recommendation here from Muhammad, The Art of War, absolutely. Sun Tzu, big fan, big fan. Soft on the people and hard on the problem. Yeah. Again, it comes back to me for that analogy thing is, when I'm using Kung Fu and I'm doing Wing Chun, it's a very soft form. It's considered a soft form. Now, we are very relaxed in what we do. At the same time, there are frameworks that we use which allow us to be soft in that and still deliver a strong message. Is it dreaming to think that if the vision is clear, there is less obstacles? Yes and no, because actually, if the vision is super clear, you stop looking at things, you'll still see the obstacles, but they become more fun. You see them as the necessary steps of learning to improve where you're getting to. And in fact, how you will learn to embrace them, because what happens is you make every step forward a step up, and every step up becomes the preparation for the next 2 steps. So when we think about it in this way, they still piss us off. They still give us frustration. They still aggravate us. At the same time, we'll still go looking for more of them, because the vision is clear. If the vision isn't clear, or the vision isn't yours, it's more likely that you're going, yeah, I'm not interested. Meh. Good. Lots of questions came through, lots of value coming in. What are the questions? If you have no more questions, please light them up on the box and just say no if you haven't got them. If you do want them, that's also okay. I'm just going to get the last link out of here. I want to share with you just what those last bits are coming in. That's what happens when you're flying solo. Wow. No more questions. Good. Thank you very much. Another barnstormer. Finished the week on a high. Agreed. Very insightful as always. So very appreciated. Thank you very much, everyone. Look, do you know anyone in your business, any teams, any leaders, any part of your organization, department that would find value in a conversation with me? Yes or no? Are there people in your business that need to have a conversation with me, with MBM, in order to support their development as a business unit inside your organization? A couple of yeses coming in there. If this is the case, if it is appropriate, there is a link there in the chat box for the virtual classrooms. Now, we're doing these sessions. I have my home office set up here. I have my studio space to deliver this content. Speak to us. The link there for the virtual classroom, it covers all the soft skills. It covers all the niche areas that we focus on, from category management, negotiation skills, whatever it is, to support you and your business being the best version of you in the work that you do. If we can help you, if it is appropriate, click on that link. Let's have a conversation. Let's bring this to life so I can help you to take this even further. Do I mean one-to-one coaching? Both, Mohammed, both. Whether that's, one-to-one coaching from me or one of the team here specifically, or whether it's in a group environment like this, and I actually can teach to a class online wherever you are in the world right now. I can take you through an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of leadership skills, negotiation skills, whatever it is that helps to take you to your next level, that helps you to find those challenges and those obstacles and meet them with the mindset and the skill set that's going to take you on to the next level. Hope this is useful. Huge thank you for being here. If it's appropriate, click the link. Got the link on there for the leadership cards. Get yourselves a copy now while they're still £5. Get them on your desk. Get yourselves building a new leadership mindset. And I look forward to seeing you on Monday. The link in there, if you haven't sign up, share it. Let's get some more people in this room and share this message. Everyone, have a lovely rest of your day. Have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you all on Monday. Thanks very much.